Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Aquarius be affected by the December 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our inner self. The left-hand side, there we go, is at the bottom is our rooted self. There we go. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. There we go. Now let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the sun, which is absolutely beautiful, and we have the tower. This time brings, and this moon brings, a lot of positivity after intense change. So let's see our inner selves. We have the 8 of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the 3 of Cups. Our emotional self, we have the 6 of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So if we're born on the cusp with Capricorn, or we have Earth sign energy within our natal chart, that really helps us learn and develop here in our emotional self. Also, there's going to be very real world, not consequences, that's the wrong word for it, but there's going to be real world adaptations of our heart, of what we are emotionally focusing on and developing during this time. And let's see our public arena self. We have the 3 of Cups again, and we have the 8 of Cups. So it's very interesting. We're definitely coming to a profound conclusion during this time and from this moon, where it's helping us see things more clearly. It's helping us see ourselves more clearly, the way that we need to move forward, the way that we want to move forward. And it really is starting to be a game changer, but it's purging a lot of negativity that has been a part of us for a very long time. So let's see what energy we need to be mindful of is. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the moon. Now, it's the intensity of this moon that we have to be mindful of, but it's also the fact that people will use fear to try to manipulate and control us during this time. The subconscious and the conscious are going to need to be in alignment, and if they aren't, if we feel ourselves like in battle with ourselves. We need to step back, because that's going to be something that can easily happen during this time, where we just feel out of harmony with who we are and how we're developing forward. Now let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is listening. I love the throat chakra when it comes to listening, because so often when we think of the throat chakra, we think of talking, we think of communication, we think of being better heard. But we can hear so much better if we are better listeners, and yes, that makes sense, but we can speak so much better if we are better listeners, if we embrace the power, the insight, the ideas that come to us. And if we're not always speaking, the thing with our world is everybody's just trying to one up each other with being louder. When you're sitting at a table or you're in a meeting and the person just kind of talks over you and you think, that's cool. And that's what our world tends to be like. If you can talk over, if you can be heard, if you don't stop, if you keep on pushing forward, you will get the respect. You will get to be where it is that you want to be. But sometimes if you step back, if you listen, if you take everything in, if you look at what they're truly saying or what they're saying with their body language and with the aura around them and the energy that they're giving off, this is going to make a big difference, and it can almost be like a superpower. So just be mindful of this. Here, Aquarius, because really seriously, people aren't going to be listening, and it's going to be what changes the game during this time. It really is. Now let's talk about this astrologically speaking. On the 18th of December, going into the 19th of December, we have the full moon in Gemini. Now this says the answers you need are coming, and that's going to be so important during this time. The answers we need are coming. Are we going to hear them? Are we going to pay attention to what we're being told? Are we going to live in fear, or are we going to move forward towards what it is that we truly desire? So here on the 18th of December, again going into the 19th, this is one of the best ways to end 2021. The full moon is in Gemini, and it is a very lucky moon, therefore meaning that we are very lucky just in association with it. This is because of the strong role, the strong influence that Jupiter has during this time. We will also have to be mindful, because even though things are going to be pretty darn good, they're not going to be perfect. So just be aware of that. The sun is opposite the moon, which is how the story of the full moon always begins. It's as once upon a time, if you want to say. And this lasts for 2 weeks after the full moon. So with the sun opposite the moon, this always brings us to focus on, this always brings our close relationships into focus. This is always something that we have to look at during the full moon. It puts a spotlight on our relationship. It also puts a spotlight, it makes us much more aware at the different directions we're being pulled, and how we're not in harmony with ourselves and where it is that we want to be. We have to be very open and honest with ourselves on how the way that we're being pulled in different directions from what we want and what we need, what other people want of us and what we want of us, home and work, school and work and home and everything that just gets piled and piled and piled upon our shoulders. We have to be honest with ourselves of how we're being drained, of how we're being overwhelmed. Are we taking time out for ourselves, or aren't we? Emotions and intuitions reach their peak under this full moon during this time. Our increased emotional strength and intuition helps us to really see and focus on what we need and what is challenging us, what is holding us back. We also become more aware of our subconscious understanding, and we'll find ourselves really relying on and entrusting in our intuition. This is also a significant end of a cycle. Whenever we have the full moon, it's not the big spotlight that begins a new cycle. It's the end of a cycle. And it's saying here, the spotlight of what have we learned? What have we connected to? What do we desire? How are we moving forward? This is very important. The last hours that the North Lunar Node will be in Gemini are during this full moon. So here we have Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in Capricorn during this time, meaning that the energy of the North Lunar Node, also known as the head of the dragon, is in Gemini, but is much, much more rational, much more grounded. This means that we will be able to perceive, articulate, and achieve what we really want, and be able to set ourselves up for what we really want to focus on, what we want our head to focus on during 2022, the angel number of new beginnings, 222. Now, this is going to emphasize our achievements, where it is that we want to go. It's really going to focus us for the year to come. Now, we have the full moon in discord with Neptune. This is powerful, especially if we're born on the cusp of Pisces energy, because Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is our spiritual understanding. It is our sixth sense. It is our seeker of belief and hope and what we truly want from this world. And what we truly want right now, Aquarius, is an alleviation of so much pain, of so much nonsense that we've been carrying with us and carrying with us. Neptune will have us looking at things from a higher spiritual understanding. We are starting to look at things and really see our dreams, see what's holding us back within our dreams, see the way that we're moving forward, see what it is that we desire. And how this is going to work is that we start to incorporate into our world what it is that our soul has been craving. This is a time where we really start to pay attention to ourselves, to our desires, to what we need, to what we want, and to where it is that we need to be personally, spiritually, and powerfully. Lilith, the Black Moon, is in Gemini. Now, this is making it so that we're believing something that isn't true. We need all our facts before we react. If we react with facts, if we go and we say, you know what, I have it grounded, I know it, inside and out, then we go for it. But if we don't have the facts, wait until around the 20th of December, because this is going to be when the influence of the Black Moon in Lilith decreases, right? It's going to be easier for us to see clearly. The full moon is going to be trine Jupiter. This brings positivity, good luck, wealth, and abundance, as well as happiness into our lives. We will be able to grow spiritually and personally, and will be led towards being a healthier, happier, and wiser human being, which is just all good things. We don't feel as alone with this alignment because it's easier for us to share our feelings. We feel more connected, and we also feel more connected with our voice. We are also going to find great rewards in our relationships and also through socialization. We'll be open and honest with our goals and where it is that we want to be, what it is that we're looking for from our lives, which will benefit us in our personal lives, in our work lives, in every aspect of our existence. We just have to be mindful that we're not trusting people of lower energy vibration, because this will lead to people sabotaging us, cheating us, and thinking that our connectivity is actually a weakness, which it most definitely is not. So just be mindful of this. It's really hard to spot people sometimes with lower energy vibration, because if you're of higher energy vibration, especially if you're empathic, this person pretends to be wounded or is wounded, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I can really help them out, or oh my gosh, they had to have learned their lesson, or now I'm just being mean. And Spirit is saying here, no, stick to your guns. You don't need a backstabber in your midst. You just don't. This is a wonderful moon, and this alignment of the full moon trine Jupiter is perfect for the holiday season for spreading goodwill and generosity. The full moon is quincus Venus. Now, Venus goes into retrograde 6 hours after the full moon on the 19th of December. This makes things tricky, but we have to understand that the energy of Jupiter is going to really balance out a lot during this time. So the retrograde of Venus isn't going to be quite as intense, though it is going to have its power. So we are going to have to be mindful of it. But Jupiter is one of the most positive planets in the solar system, and it really does help us to strongly move along. Now, the full moon quincus Venus increases our need for love and affection. Things will become tricky if we feel our relationships aren't balanced. This causes us to either feel, if we feel our relationships aren't balanced, it causes us to feel either taken advantage of or smothered. So just be, excuse me, just be aware of this. This is also a time to, this also isn't a time to act, but to step back. And it's so interesting because what Spirit has here, it's like, it's a time, excuse me. It is a time to act personally. It is a time to sit there and be very proactive within our hearts, within our souls, within ourselves, with what we're seeing, with what we desire, with what we want, with what we're looking for. But it's not a time to take those actions and say, that's it, I'm just going for it. This is what I'm doing. So we need to step back and really look at our own hearts, at our desires. How are we loving ourselves? What are we putting up with that just isn't okay anymore? Because we are definitely walking away from something in the public arena, and it's like, I'm done with this nonsense. I don't want it. I don't need it. It doesn't get to define me anymore. And so this is going to be very important for us. The full moon is quincus Pluto. Now, this alignment can increase the imbalance in our relationships, which we would think, oh my gosh, we just finished with Venus going retrograde. We have Venus quincus, the full moon, and things just aren't easy. But with our relationships, things get a little bit intense, but they do mellow out. So just be aware of that. The calming influence of Jupiter is still really there. So what happens with the full moon quincus Pluto is that things get really real really fast. I mean, this isn't a time, and this definitely isn't alignment where it's all just like nonsense and, oh, it doesn't matter. No, things really do matter. And we're going to start to see in ourselves certain things that have been, just suppressed or pushed down, or, we didn't even realize it was bothering us. It starts to come out and we're like, oh, wow. Okay, that's more than I thought it was. Wow, that's more intense than I thought it was going to be. We need to share our feelings with people that we trust. No, or with not people, one person. We need to be able to talk to. This could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be a therapist, this could be a spiritual advisor, this could be a journal. If we don't have somebody that we want to go and talk to, this could be writing it out and really connecting with the words that we are saying, with the, information that is coming our way. It starts to become a game changer here. Yeah, if it is a journal, guys, because we're going to be writing things out that if other people were to read it, they would be really hurt. Burn it afterwards. Just, take those pages, rip them out, throw them in the fire, let it be gone, and let it be done. Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto. Now, this also means that we're going to be in love with the idea of love, and that actually can overpower things during this time. We're just going to want, like, the honeymoon stage of things. We're going to want, the first couple of weeks of a relationship where everything is new and exciting and it's like, oh my goodness, look what I'm discovering about this person. That's what we're going to want, but we're going to want it to be a forever relationship. And that's not how it works. So that's going to be something we have to be really mindful of here. We're going to be swept up by lust, and we need to be aware of it, calling it what it is, not love, but lust, and saying, this is great, but I have to be real with myself with what this is and my expectations for it. So just doing that is going to be very, very helpful for us. The fixed star Betelgeuse is located in the constellation of Orion. Now, this brings mental honor, it brings promotion, it brings mental honor, and it also brings material honor, promotion, and wealth. This will also reveal immense strength, but the question is, with this fixed star Betelgeuse coming forward, why is that strength coming forward? What are we needing that for? Because it's honing a skill. This is also known as the workaholic star. Okay, we're going to be all in or none at all. So just be aware of that. We can have days where we're just so productive, it's amazing. And other days we're getting out of bed. That's like the feat. So just be aware of this. The alignment with the power of this moon and the star makes us swift-minded. It makes us strong-willed. It makes us rebellious. It makes us a bit restless, and we don't like to feel controlled. So be aware of that. We're not really also going to like authority figures. But this star can also bring us, with this alignment with the moon, can also bring us great power, honor, and wealth. The constellation Orion brings us strength, dignity, self-confidence. It also brings us inconsistency, arrogance, violence, and impiety. So be mindful of this, because we don't want any of that, like the impiety, like not believing in ourselves, not having that connection with the earth, or spiritually, of embracing like a higher energy vibration. We're just going to need to be mindful of being sucked under, just like things annoying us, things getting us angry, and just anger taking over. So just be aware of this. Success in trade, especially overseas trade, is going to be something that's amplified by Orion. So that can be a very good thing for us to embrace. So just be aware of that. The fixed star Polaris, okay, is also here during this moon, and it is located within the constellation of Ursa Minor. Now, the fixed star Polaris is not as benevolent, not as kind, and as positive as Betelgeuse. So be mindful of this. Betelgeuse has its flaws. Polaris has way more. So understanding that is going to be very helpful. Now, Polaris can cause sickness, it can cause trouble, it can cause loss of fortune, it can cause disgrace. In legal matters and in inheritance, it can bring evil attention forward on these issues, on legal issues, on inheritance. It can make something like everything's going real smoothly, and then Polaris comes in and just kind of like knocks it all over. So just be mindful of that. This star is also The star is actually a good star in a way, because what it does is it makes us look at what needs to be fixed. It is a guide. It is a warning. It's like those flashing lights, or those signs where it says like reduce your speed, type of thing. It's saying look at the cracks. Look at the cracks before they become the Grand Canyon. Look at the cracks before it opens up and it swallows you. So that's going to be really important. Astrologically speaking, the bears, Ursa Minor and Ursa Major, okay, are said to be an evil influence, especially in regards to nations and kings. And what I'm really seeing here is the fact that Polaris brings the cracks forward for our nations and for our leaders. And if they do not pay attention, the cracks will build, and the cracks will build. Now, the unfortunate thing is that it might not be initially our problem, but it will trickle down to being our problem. So just be aware of this. We have the sun and we have the tower, two astoundingly intense, and when we look at them, they can seem like polar opposite cards, because the sun is prosperity and success. It is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. It is radiance that we are absolutely exuding, and then the tower is being pushed out of our comfort zone. It is being overwhelmed. It is looking at things quite differently than we have before. It's having to really look at where we need to be, where we want to be, what lessons have we learned along the way? Where do we stand now? How did we get to this place? And we're not necessarily going to thank the tower, but the tower isn't bad. The tower is just saying spirit wanted us to change, and we were staying in our stagnation. And so everything had to change. Everything had to change. And this is us being, again, thrown out of our comfort zone. And yet there's a radiance to us. There's a sense of us landing on our feet, or us seeing what we want, us embracing a whole new sense of who we are, of where we want to be, of how we're moving forward. And it brings us to the Eight of Swords. It brings us to a place where we're being asked, like, do we shine? Do we embrace the blessings of the sun? Or do we dwell only on the chaos of the tower, the chaos that the tower brought, the fact that we were uncomfortable, or the fact that we were overwhelmed, the fact that we doubted and feared and couldn't. The Eight of Swords is this real sense of feeling trapped. The Eight of Swords is where people can live in their sorrow, in their despair, in their hurt, in their pain, where they don't have a positive word to say about themselves, where their resting face is just angry and bitter. And it's like, enough is enough. Are you going to stay there your whole entire life, or are you going to open up the door and walk through to so much more? And the Wheel of Fortune is saying things are changing, because things are changing. And what we have is we can feel like a roller coaster ride. We can have this sense of, I don't really have my footing. I don't know how I'm moving forward. I don't know where it is that I want to be, or what it is that I need at this time. And what we're going to see is that if we go along with the flow, if we go along with the energy that is coming forward, things are really going to change. We are going to change in a way that really is quite intense. And it brings us to the Three of Coins. Are we celebrating ourselves with people who love us? Or are we letting the words of people who are supposed to celebrate us, who are supposed to be on our side, guide us? Who, wouldn't have a nice word to say, even if, it would save their life. They just couldn't do it. These are the people. So when I see the Three of Cups, these are the people who they'll celebrate. They'll be the first one there so everybody can look at them. But when it matters, they're not going to show up. They're not going to be by our sides. They're not even going to care that we're in trouble. And these are the people who scar us, because these can be people who are supposed to care. These could be parents. These could be guardians. These are people who are supposed to show up, and they just couldn't. And the Three of Cups is saying, why are we taking their wounded words, their wounded actions, and making it the power of our lives? This is a time for us to say, you know what? You couldn't do it. That's on you. But I have people in my corner, even if it's just our angels and our spirit guides, that we are embracing and who are helping us to move forward. Excuse me. It moves us to the Six of Pentacles. It moves us at our heart to having ourselves be grounded in balance. Because right now, and for a long time, we've been grounded in imbalance. The sense of, I'll get my footing. The sense of, oh no, it'll all work out. The sense of, okay, it can become better. And what the Six of Pentacles is saying, I need the justice now. I need the balance now. I need things to be fair. And then it brings us to the Page of Pentacles. It's being a student of our prosperity. It's being a student of our abundance, of the way that we need to move forward, of what's important to us. What seeds are we planting and why? And are we perpetuating imbalance within our lives? Are we perpetuating things being kind of helter-skelter, like all out of scale and out of harmony. And as we look at things, as we start to become the student of what we want to embrace and how we're moving forward and what we're moving towards, we're looking at things so differently. And as we're looking at things so differently in the public arena, we're looking at those people who, not even those people, but the energy of the people who celebrate us and yet would never stand by us. And it's like, I'm so done with this. There's a real sense here of I'm so done with the fakes and the phonies and the liars and the cheats, and I'm walking away. And I'm walking away. And for some of us, we can see that these people were powerful. Like, they're very good at buttering us up, of saying, oh, I'm here for you. And yet when it matters, just not being there at all. And the 8 of Cups is like, I'm done with this cycle. We're walking away from what we once thought we would love. And it could be that we once thought we would love to be this, this powerful, this in this world. And yet it's just not for us. What we had thought it would be, and the reality of what it is, are two completely different things. And that's really what we're seeing here during this time. And that's why in 2022, we're preparing ourselves for something more. It's like there is more going to be happening here than I know, than you could realize, than was once understood. And it brings us to our Lunar message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Communication is key, new beginnings. So the power of this moon in Gemini, this full moon in Gemini, it moves us, and it is quite strong within us because we have here the new moon in Gemini. So the Gemini energy during this moon is intense until the full moon, which I believe will be on the 2nd of January. And this is a time of new beginnings. This is a time of walking through one portal into another. So it's like walking through a doorway. And it's really cool because Janus is where the name January comes from. So Janus is the god of beginnings. It's a Roman god, and it's the god of beginnings, and it's the god of endings, and it's the god of portals. So that's what January is. It's a beginning and it's an ending. It marks, yes, December is the ending of a year, but it's the ending of that old energy flowing into the beginning of the new energy. And it's a sense of, this portal that I'm walking into, this new world that I'm walking into, this new year. And it can be what I make of it each month, each day, each step forward. And that's going to be something that we're looking at. And it's like, I need to communicate to myself what I want. This can be a time where we're like really into lists, like we're really into making things clear and spelling it out and, making schedules for ourselves and saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And nothing and no one will stop me except myself. So we just have to be aware of that. Believe in the impossible creation. Believe in the impossible and you will create. And the most exquisite things will be your creation. And that's within our inner self, in our emotional self. The moon says, have faith in your dreams, attraction. If you have faith in your dreams, you will attract your dreams. And yet also, so also what Spirit is saying, but you will also attract what you need to be able to accomplish your dreams. So you might not be there yet. You might not have all the knowledge yet, or all the skills, or all the connections that you need to make your dreams come true. But if you have faith in your dreams, if you're moving forward with this belief within your heart, you start to attract what you need to be able to build those dreams. Then we move to our lunar public arena self. And it says, bring love into the situation. And this is the new moon in Aquarius. That's us. The moon is saying, if we are us, if we embrace the silent power of us, it changes. It changes everything. It brings powerful and immense change. So here, bring love into the situation, and it will change everything we thought it would be. It brings us to our subconscious Luna message, which is the new moon again. And it says, expect the unexpected, well, expect powerful change. And then we have the full moon. Power. Expect powerful change, and it will bring us power during this time. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's the Queen of Pentacles. Being mindful of people whose energy vibration just doesn't mesh with ours. The way that they're going, the way that their heart is moving them forward is not the same as ours, and yet they might be super successful. So we think, what the heck's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. People either jive with us or they don't. It either works or it doesn't. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that it's bad that something did not work. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, and it's communication. This is, again, the throat chakra. We need to listen, and we need to communicate with ourselves. What do I want? What do I need? How am I moving me forward? What is it that I desire? It brings us to our subconscious rooted energy. And this is the Death card. A dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. A sense of there is change, and there is a new story to be told. But I need to honor my past and everything that I have learned and developed and become. As I am transformed, as I see me differently, as I walk in a new direction that I might never have expected. It brings us to our subconscious inner self, and this is the Seven of Wands. This is saying, be mindful of fighting. Be mindful of wasting your energy on fools who will not understand. Fight when it's needed, sure. But do not waste your energy on people who are there just to cause drama and problems and chaos. Look at your world. Look at your little space of this earth and of life, and make it as beautiful as possible. Not wasting your energy on people who won't even care. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self, and it's the Six of Wands. It's celebration. It's being able to celebrate ourselves. It's being able to move forward in brilliance and in joy and in connection. It's building ourselves up instead of ripping us down. Everybody's going to be so willing to rip us down. I mean, that's what people are there for. They're there to build us up, but so many people get jealous. They think, why you and not me? And so here it is to celebrate. It is to embrace our brilliance and success. Our subconscious public arena self is the Five of Wands. We're facing a battle we fought before. Stand our ground. Stand in our truth. Do not let people bully us. And then move forward. Move forward knowing that you have every right to your success and to your power. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this full moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius, and may you have a blessed moon.